I just wanted to go live today and talk about all things manifesting, law of assumption, answer any questions that you have. I'm just going to go into the chat and see if I can find that. It's been a minute since I've been on here. Okay, let me see. Hello, Butterfly Empress. Oh, there's the chat. Okay, I've got it. How are you? I hope you're doing really well. Let me know how you're going, and if you have any questions, I'm going to be here for about 20 or 30 minutes. Yay! Would you like it if we do some more lives where you can kind of interact and ask questions as we sort of move through the topics? Is that something you'd like more of? Loving to know what everybody wants more of. I've done the challenge 2 weeks straight now. Wow, how are you finding it? Tell me everything. And feel free to email me as well. If you have any questions or anything like that, I am totally here to support you through that. I hope you're enjoying the meditations and the inner conversations and everything as well. Beautiful. I think a few more people are joining the room. I love, love, love it. Thank you so much. As long as you're like feeling chilled and like, enjoying it. Let me know if you have any questions. Is there anything that you want clarity on or any questions about manifesting? Feel free. It's one of those courses where it's like, it's very focused, and I kind of call it a challenge because I find with myself after day 3 or day 4 of a challenge, I then just fall off the rails. That's sort of been me in the past. So I like to create a challenge that's like 7 days. So it's kind of short and sharp, but that it's yours forever and you have access to it all the time. So you can repeat it. But yeah, SP, maybe we can dive into some SP questions, because I have noticed with the polls and stuff over the last couple of weeks that specific person and love does pop up a lot. Okay. I'm the one who asked about the ghosting. I'm not anxious anymore, but I do have a question. Yeah, fire away, fire away. Hello, happy boy. Hello, Jeanette. Thank you so much for being here. Feel free to just post your questions and I will answer them as we move through. I also have a little dog here with me today called Bobby, and he's like eating a chew toy under the table. So if he gets carried away, that's just what's happening there. Okay. Yes, feel free to just type your questions when you're ready. Oh, not sure what that one was. Okay, so SP, I'll just dive in super quickly. Specific person. So a lot of us think that manifesting a specific person is challenging. And it usually isn't until you realize that it's just as easy to manifest a cup of coffee. So everything is energy, everything is our perception. So if we think that something is harder than the other, then it will be. Oh, what does that say? Dog. Yes, yes, there's a dog here. Okay, let me see what this one says. It's been almost 3 months after the challenge. I now feel calm, more certain, living and trust as much as possible. But can you explain how to live in the end through the day? Yeah, love this. So, how do you now feel that you're in a loving, committed relationship with your person? This is the end. How do you feel? What does your day look like now that you're living in the end with your person? So, for example, it could be something like, And I want you to look at this as like you've already been in a committed relationship for a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year. So it's not new. Like you're in this loving, committed relationship now. How does it feel? For example, it could be just you're so relaxed, you're off doing your own thing during the day because you know that your partner is at work and they're just doing their thing. You can just, imagine the beautiful, loving things that they would say to you in the morning when you wake up together. Like, I love waking up with you. You're so beautiful. I can't wait to spend this day with you. Or I can't wait to come home to you tonight and make dinner together. It's these kind of chats that you would have now that you're a couple. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong because before I'd manifest movement quickly in 3D, but this is long. Yes, when we have like 3D questions, it's usually because we're placing too much attention and focus out in the 3D. So it's like we do the manifesting techniques, we get into the end state, and then we look out there and we're like, where is it? So we have to stop looking for it out there. When we look for it out there, we're pressing pause. When we're looking for evidence out there, whether it's like looking at social media, the other person's social media or things like that, or even just saying to ourselves, where is it? I'm not seeing it. We press pause. So we want to live in the end state that you already have it now. So you wouldn't be looking out there. That's the trick there. How do I not notice the no contact? So we're never in no contact. So with manifesting, just getting like super back to basics, we create in the 4D and not necessarily create. We're creating the imaginal scenes that we want to experience. But with manifesting, we're just choosing the version of the person that we want to experience. And then we are now the new version of self that is experiencing our SP. So we're not changing anything. We're not trying to change the person out there. We select the version that we wish to experience, and then we saturate ourselves in the end with that. So we're always in contact. You're always in contact all the time with your SP in the 4D. So this is what inner conversations are. And this is what then gets pushed out into the 3D. So more than anything, it's just trusting the new approach. First within, then without. 4D first, 3D second. We don't need to look for the evidence in the 3D because we know we have the evidence already in the 4D. This is how we make the change. This is how we trust and relax and chill out. And we also don't want to be sort of making statements like this is taking too long. We want to be like, my person is always messaging me every single day. They love reaching out. They're calling me. They're dreaming about me. They're obsessed with me. I know this to be true because this is what I'm imagining, and I'm the only operant power. This person has no free will out there. When you get into that state, that's when the 3D stuff will come into play. So is it just inner conversations and affirming throughout the day when noticing the 3D? 100%. So 3D is just feedback. That's all it is. It's not its own thing, doing its own thing out there. It's just feedback from either your subconscious patterns of behavior and beliefs that you have going on, or your conscious patterns of behavior and beliefs. So what we're trying to do always is be the version of self that has everything that you desire. Be that person. So if you're in a loving, committed relationship, how does that feel? And maybe if it's helpful, you could type out some things in the chat here too of how you would feel now that you're in this relationship. For me personally, it's like so relaxed, chilled, like saturated in love, feeling chosen and prioritized, just really at ease. So let me know how that would feel for you. I'm excited to know. Beautiful. And I think with SP, a lot of people can have some, doubts and worries that it's not going to work because we can have some emotional baggage and some emotional trauma and stuff going on with our self-concept. But I just think it's so important to know that we don't choose the programming of our life up until the age of 7. We're absorbing so much information from the people around us, especially our parents or caregivers. So this is where our dominant belief system comes from. And so much about manifesting is just you know, changing your beliefs about things, changing your stories, creating new stories and sticking with the new stories, choosing the version of somebody that you want to experience. We can only have one story going at a time as well. So it's really deciding which story you want to stick with and experience. Let me see. Same for me. I have been feeling those things a lot more in the past few weeks for sure. That's so good. Yeah. So the chilled out, the better, because we're not meant to, plug in so much to the when and the how of things. We just stick with the story and persist. And we know it's going to show up because we're committing to it in the 4D. We are the new version of self. We are choosing the new version of our specific person. We're in alignment. We stick with this story, we persist, and then that's what will reflect back to you in the 3D. 3D is just reflecting like a mirror. It's not doing anything else out there. And I know that the 3D is probably one of the most triggering things for people, and it has been for myself as well. It's like, well, why is the 3D showing me something rubbish when I have been doing my inner conversations for the past week or 2 weeks or however long, and I'm just getting these crappy reflections? There's often a time delay with the 3D. So with some things there's not, and again, it's just the story that you have, but there can be a time delay with the 3D. With the old story being pushed out and just completely getting rid of it in order for the new story to catch up. So there's a bit of a time lag there of just old crap being cleared out. And I actually can see it as a really good thing that something terrible happens right before you get the breakthrough. It's almost like a test or a challenge sometimes, just to see, like, are you committed to this, or are you going to allow the 3D to just throw you around like a tumbleweed? Do I have to always visualize through the day or just declare I am in the relationship, I'm the wife? So it's being the version of yourself. So it's a lot about feeling and stepping into that version. So now I'm a wife, now I'm married. Who are you now that you have this and you're experiencing this? How do you feel? There's a lot of techniques out there, and I think I did a video on this recently about, affirming or doing visualizations or inner conversations. The whole point of techniques is to get you into that feeling state to be in the new version. You don't necessarily have to feel it, but I do find that it's really helpful if you can just saturate yourself with these feelings of love from your person. It's just choosing to be new self, choosing to be this new version of yourself that now has the desire. That's the fastest way to manifest. Techniques are a great way to help you get into that state, but it is about being in that state. Okay, I'm a wife now. I wake up with my husband. I call him my husband. We make breakfast together in the morning. He brings me a cup of tea in bed. We talk about what we're going to do for the day or the weekend. Maybe if we have kids, we're going to talk about their arrangements. It's living in the end of that already. You already have it now. You're not waiting for it. You already have it now. For the longest time, I had the story of him being a fearful avoidant. It's hard for me as I'm a counselor and in psychology. He displayed all those things and even told me he's been this way. Yeah, this is great. So this is just, getting back to the basics. Everyone is you pushed out. So if somebody says to you, let me see, I'm a fearful avoidant, and you believe that story about them, that's how they're going to show up. If somebody says to you, I'm a fearful avoidant, and in the 3D you go, okay, yep, got it. But if you go into your 4D and you're like, no, you're not. You've cleared this up. This person is not a fearful avoidant. They love committed, engaging, deep, genuine relationships, and they only want that with me. And I'm the person of their dreams, and they've let that go. That's what we're doing. We are letting go of old crappy stories that don't work for us anymore and creating new ones that feel better, that serve us, that, serve us and help us get into the state of the wish fulfilled. Everything is a story, and we're telling stories about ourselves and everybody else all throughout the day. So it is a daily thing where you're like, okay, so I'm married now. It's lunchtime. How do I feel? Like, what's my husband thinking right now? What are we going to do for dinner? Like, he's messaging me little text messages throughout the day. I just love this man. This man loves me more than anything since, sliced bread. It's saturating yourself in those feelings throughout the day. It's an ongoing state to stay in. Manifesting is not, let's do 15 techniques in the morning and then at lunchtime and then at the evening, and then for the rest of the day go about the day doubting. Complete waste of time. And I've done it, so I can tell you it doesn't work. So what you want to do from morning through to evening, every single day, because this is a lifestyle now, is know that your thoughts create. Know that you're the only operant power. Know that the 3D is just simply reflecting the stories that you have going on about yourself and about other people. And that's it. That's it. So you get to decide the stories that you want to hook into and the stories that you believe. That's really all that's going on. Manifesting is very simple, but we really get in the way, because I think a lot of us think that it's hard and we have to work really hard and we have to do the things to make it work. But, techniques and challenges as well, the 3 challenges that I have, they're really about just helping you get into the state of you already having that which you desire. And then once you're there, you'll know that feeling. And sometimes, even with psychology, we can have words that help us hook into things, the same with scent, perfumes, and things like that. That's like one of the most powerful things that can evoke a memory or get us into a state, or, have this beautiful story going on. So even if it's a word for you, like, I like to say inner magic. This is my inner magic where I'm creating. And as soon as I say that, I'm like, bang, okay, I'm in the zone. My person loves me. Life is going really well. Health is going really well. Like, it instantly just gets me into that state. So if you could have like a code word that could be helpful, or a song. Love music. If there's a song that you love that just reminds you of your person so much, that is connective and that you just love, hook into that. It's all about getting into the state of feeling loved and just saturating yourself in that. I love to imagine like a really big golden waterfall of water, love, saturating myself with my person. And it's just so much easier now to manifest wonderful things, because when you live in the end, you're not waiting, you're not wishing, you're not hoping, you're not looking for it, you already have it. When you already have something, for example, let's talk about an object like a bag. You wanted the bag, like say it's like a Louis Vuitton bag, you really wanted it, and now you've got it, you've got the bag at home. Are you going to be looking out there waiting for it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't have it. No, you've got the bag. You've got the bag. So it's the same thing with manifesting a specific person. Doesn't matter if it's not tangible in your 5 senses yet. You visualized having that bag, and then you got the bag. And I think we have less resistance with objects than we do with people, because we're not as emotionally attached. We don't have as many negative stories going around. And it's so interesting how quick the mind takes us to a negative story. And it's usually for safety. The brain likes to keep us safe through patterns and repetition. So, sometimes it feels easier to just believe that there's a negative story because that's all that you've known, even if you don't want to experience it. So we're breaking habits of patterns and beliefs here. And this is where flipping stories can come in handy as well. I can talk for days, so if anybody does have questions, feel free to post. But yeah, it's not as hard as we think it is, and I think we need to take the pressure off ourselves and just live in the end. Be new self, be the version of you that has it, and it usually comes in really quickly. That's so helpful. You're so wonderful, Claire. You make it so easy. Thank you so much. You're so nice. And I'm squinting because I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I'm in denial. So that's why I look like that. You're so welcome. And yeah, I just think that manifesting is really, really simple, but we can make it really hard by, self-sabotaging and going back to the old ways as soon as we see something in the 3D that we don't like. But actually, I think it's really helpful to look at the 3D as our best friend. It's one of those really honest best friends. We all have one that's like, not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. That's what the 3D is doing. There's no hiding. The 3D is saying, hey, this is what's going on, whether it's something you prefer or not. And I think that's the most important thing, and the thing where people get tripped up so much, including myself, is we look at the 3D and we take our cues from it. We're like, okay, well, that's terrible. That's not what I wanted to experience. Manifesting is crap and it sucks and it's hard and I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah, this happens. So then we have to go, no, I don't have to get all emotional about the 3D. It's actually giving me some fantastic feedback right now, 3D, your best friend. I love this analogy. Yes, because that's all it is. It's feedback of what's going on internally. That's it. That's it. It's that really brutally honest best friend. That sometimes you want to just be like, I ain't got time for that. You're ruining my day. I feel like you're not supporting me. I need you to be nicer because I'm emotional and I'm sensitive right now. And the magical word. Yes, inner magic, inner witchy. I don't know if anybody watches Practical Magic or if you've seen that movie with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman from the 90s. Love it. They're making a second one. I think they've made a second one. So that's going to be really exciting. But it's knowing that you hold all the power, not your specific person, not the 3D, not circumstances. You hold all the power. This is all you. So it's deciding whether we believe the 3D as something true and separate from us, or if we look at it and we're like, oh, feedback, that really honest best friend. Thank you so much. Let me go back into my inner magic and just persist with this new story. If something shows up in the 3D that you don't like, it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. Because remember, we have the conscious mind at play and we also have the subconscious mind at play. Oh my God, that is my favorite movie. My daughter too, she got it tattooed. I love it. We're vibing. But yeah, subconscious and conscious. So our conscious is 5% of our brain. This is the 5 senses, the things we can see, touch, taste, smell, we're experiencing in this 3D reality. Subconscious mind is 95% of the brain. And these are our patterns of thoughts. These are our beliefs. This is our programming that we've taken on since we were, up until the age of 7 and beyond. But usually up until the age of 7, we're not consciously aware. And sometimes it takes people even longer than that to be consciously aware of their decision making and who they are, self-awareness, things like this. So 3D is really 5% of this 3D reality tapping into our senses. The subconscious is 95%. So the subconscious is the beautiful thing to be tapping into as well at nighttime with overnight subliminals, rampages, meditations, inner conversations. The subconscious mind doesn't know right from wrong. It just absorbs information. So I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you're watching a movie at nighttime and you've watched it for 2.5 hours and it's been very intense and then you dream about it. It's because, you've absorbed so much information in your conscious, setting that now the subconscious has taken it on. Now you're dreaming about it. It's a really interesting thing. Dreams are really interesting. I love dreams. I'm a tarot reader too, but I use it to see what's going on in subconscious mind and as a tool to manifest. And my shift's definitely showing up late. So it's probably the 3D leg now. Yes, and I love tarot. Tarot is awesome. Tarot, astrology, numerology, all of these mystical things. Very spiritual world. I love science, but I also love spirituality so much. And sometimes it's nice to just, believe in this higher thing and this otherworldly thing. And sometimes it's nice to sort of not feel like we have all the answers, because with manifesting, we are fully in control all the time. We're fully in control of the thoughts that we choose to hook into. We're fully in control of our stories. We're fully in control of stepping into new states, stepping into feelings, So I think these are all just really great tools. And I think that, we all have a story about what tarot is as well, or astrology, or palmistry, or all of these things. And I grew up learning all of these things and I love them. I just think, they're not only fun, they're insightful, but they're also a great way to have, reflections come back at you and see where you're at with things. So, oh my God, that's such a breath of fresh air to hear a manifestation coach who also believes in spirituality as I do. I think it works together. Yeah. I think all things are valid and it's what feels right for you, because we're all having an experience here. And if that feels good for you, then go for it. I think it's also knowledge and it's learning. And I just think it's so fun to learn lots of new different things. And you can incorporate it into your manifesting as well. Knowing that you're the only operant power and everything and everyone is you pushed out, using these kind of, tools like tarot can be really fun. And yeah, it's just more knowledge to have in your life, So I'm open to all things. And we all have a story about how manifesting works and, all these sorts of things. But the basics of manifesting are essentially that, everyone is you pushed out. You're the only operant power in your reality. And you get to decide what kind of experiences you have by stepping into the end state. That's it. That's really it. I also teach my clients about childhood subconscious mind conditioning and reprogramming it. Yeah, because a lot of people who have childhood trauma have a lot of stories that they're trying to change and shift, because when we repeat something like a story for long enough, it becomes a belief. And when we have really negative beliefs, about men or money or relationships or health, this is what keeps showing up in our 3D reality, first within, then without. So I love that. Yeah, childhood subconscious mind. Wouldn't it be great if like we all just grew up knowing this stuff, and that, parents and caregivers were all just so kind and loving and caring and nurturing and you felt safe? You know, I know people in my life that have had that kind of childhood, and, I love it. I love hearing those stories because my childhood was absolutely chaotic. And it took me probably until my early 20s to just sort of have a think about things and be like, life doesn't have to be like this. I don't have to be a victim. I don't have to carry this pain around all the time and, you know, share my story with everyone so that they know who I am. It's funny the things that we do until we look at it and then we break those patterns of behavior. But yeah, childhood trauma can be an interesting one to navigate, but I think it's important. It's just self-awareness. And what's your story now? Because we're always creating in the now, the now, the now. So the power is in the now, in this moment. What we create now is then what is going to get pushed out. And something really helpful for childhood trauma is revision. Revision is amazing, and I feel quite new to it. I've only really explored it in the past 2 years, because I always thought that revision was sort of denying what happened and letting people off the hook. But it's actually just so healing in terms of changing the story. It's so wonderful in terms of finding relief and peace and forgiveness and being able to let go as part of that process. So I think revision is really cool. And Berna is actually just amazing at revision. I can't praise Berna enough for that. She's like master at it, truly, and has lots of different ways to navigate that. And she's also a psychotherapist as well. So she's like studied the mind and, science and also spirituality for years. years and years and years. She's amazing. Yeah, Berna is amazing. Okay, let me see this. I'm squinting again. I've taught my kids, my 20 and 16, even my 5-year-old. I love that. I love that so much. That's so fun. Um, how nice. How nice is that? One of the greatest things I find too, and my parents did say this to me. My dad was raised, they were both raised religious. My dad was raised Muslim and my mom was raised Catholic. So, really strong religions, and neither of them practice anymore. And my mom is so deep and insightful and, self aware and so full of knowledge. She said to me growing up, one of the most important things you can ever do for yourself is think for yourself. Think for yourself, critical thinking, relevance, reliability. How do you feel? Does this feel good to you? Really be able to decide for yourself if something is right or something is not right for you. And the other thing, to always trust your instincts. We're energetic beings. The body usually always knows what's going on before the mind does. So this is what our intuition is. It's our body reacting, and then the mind comes in and tries to make logic of it. I have this new word called logify, where, something happens and then we try and create a logical story in order to justify it. But with manifesting, we use the imagination and the creative mind more than anything else, and manifesting is the most logical thing, first within then without. Imagine, and this is what we've been doing most of our lives, we take our cues from the 3D. So we're just blowing around there, not knowing the kind of power that we have to create and experience. So I love that you've done that. That's just beautiful. Yay! If anyone, including yourself, Butterfly Empress, if you have any more questions, let me know. I'll probably finish up here in a couple of minutes. And and let me know if you want to do, be part of more lives, because I love it. And I love answering questions in the moment that, might not get answered in one of the videos or shorts or something like this. Oh my God, yes, Catholic, difficult limiting beliefs I've had, working on them, but the core of it is so helpful. Yes, just getting into revision in past couple of weeks too, it's complex. Yeah, love it, love it. And also, so 2 things there I'll probably talk about. Guilt comes up a lot with religion, especially the Catholic religion. Guilt, shame, fear, these things pop up a lot. And it's also around not having self-autonomy and making decisions for yourself or doing things that feel good. A lot of fear and shame around that. So it's very different with manifesting. We really tap into the self, putting ourselves first so that we can experience and have a wonderful time here. Also, when we talk about revision, it's complex. Even if we can just change that, language can be so important. So revision, we could change it to, revision is just so easy. I tap into a memory, I look at it, and then I flip it into an experience that I would have preferred. And now how do I feel? Relief, love, peace. That's revision in a nutshell. And not the operant power. Yeah. Yes. So that's that's a whole other probably video there. But yeah, not the operant power. 100%. With religion, it's always this kind of external energy. With manifesting, I think the universe is referred to a lot as this kind of, energetic power. But then a lot of people talk about yourself being God, being in the God state. So, I'm not sort of two-phased by any of that language. I think it's what just feels right for you. I like to, probably identify or use more words as like, a goddess, magical creator, witchy woman, I don't know, intuitive being, whatever just feels right for you, just go with that. Could you do a video using examples of how it feels and looks like living in the end? Yes. And living in the end is really simple. It takes a little bit of practice, but I think this is something to just maybe keep trying out over the next days, and then maybe send me an email on how you're feeling with that. So it depends which version you're being. Are you currently being a version that doesn't have what you want? Or are you being the version that has everything that you want? There'll be two different feeling states with that. When we don't have what we want, we're going to feel lack. We're going to check the 3D. We're going to just think that, things happen by chance and manifesting doesn't work. And we've got to do a lot of techniques and we've got to do the things. That's version 1. Version 2 is I already have everything that I desire. So everything's great. Everything's great. It's if I'm not seeing it in the 3D, it's on its way. I know it's on its way because I say it's on its way, and I've created it, in my imaginal 4D, in a magic world. So it really is that we can only really be one state at a time. We can only have one story going at the time. So the new story is I'm with my specific person. We're married. He loves me. It's done. It's already done. I'm living it. And this is how it feels now that I have it. So now that you have it, this is the question. Now that I have this, how do I feel? That's the fastest and best way to get into the end state. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I think I will leave it there, but let me know how often you'd like us to go live. Here it's Wednesday midday in Australia, so it's like Tuesday late evening. Let me know. I might do a poll and see which days work best for everyone, or even if it's good to do it daily. Let me know. Half an hour a day, we can do that. Reach out if you have any questions or you want any information about anything. Berna and I are both here, and thank you so much. That is so helpful. Thank you. Curious, where are you from? I'm in Australia, mate. So I live a couple of hours north of Melbourne in the state of Victoria. So I live near the mountains. So very much in nature, lots of waterfalls, lakes, all the animals, the kangaroos, the wombats, the possums, the koalas, the snakes, a lot of snakes now because we are in springtime here. Yeah, it's just beautiful. I find nature very, very healing. So I love this part of the world. But everybody, please come to Australia. It's open. Come on over. You'll have a great time. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. And thank you, especially Butterfly Empress, for all of your questions. That has made this so easy. And I really, intend that it was just so helpful. And yeah, I'm here if you need me. Have a great night, and I will see you soon. Bye. Oh, thank you so very much for this. So helpful. And I'm sure that people will watch the replay too. Yay. Yay. Okay. See you later. Bye.